Alright, today's lesson we're going to talk about the grid for the key of G major and E minor. Before we start, you want to go ahead and grab with your piece of music that says the grid scale pattern for the key of G major or E minor, and then you want to tune up your ukulele. So go ahead and pause the tutorial, tune up your ukulele, get the paper, music sheet, come on back. We'll get started in about a second. Okay, so you got your music sheet. This is the music sheet with the family chords at the bottom. Okay, so hopefully you got all your notes written down from the lectures that led up to this. Today's lecture we're gonna talk about how to practice the grid. So we're gonna break it up into sections. Keep in mind that you get F sharp in here. Key of G has one F sharp. Okay, and so keep in mind all your F's are F sharps. Now to keep it short, I'm talking about G major and E minor, but I'll just say G major, but you know I'm talking about both G minor and G major and E minor. Okay, I'm just keeping it short. We got a lot of scale patterns to cover in this lesson, so I'm going to move kind of quick. The main thing is that you understand the pattern that you need to practice, that you understand the pattern that you need to practice. You don't have to, please don't go at the speed I'm showing you. It's just to cover a lot of scale patterns in a short amount of time. But you want to practice it at a speed that's comfortable for you. So go at your pace. It's important that you understand the pattern, the notes, the positioning. Oh, by the way, don't forget your markers. 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, etc. We're going to be using 3 strings, C string, E string, and A string. 3 strings. We're not using the high G string. And I'm not going all the way because some folks are playing concert and sopranos and they don't have enough fretboard. But if you do have a tenor, by all means, follow your music sheet and it goes all the way up to your 12th fret. So your patterns can go farther than this demonstration. We're going to start off with the first position. Okay, first of all, keep in mind the goal is to think about the whole fretboard, the whole grid. Okay, just think about that. But we're going to break it down into sections so it doesn't get overwhelming. Now, we're going to start with the first section. We're going to go from C to C, C to C in the key of G major. This particular pattern or this scale in the key of G is a Lydian mode. And like I said in the previous tutorials, modes are scales within scales. I'm not gonna get heavy into it. I'm not even gonna explain it. But if you want to look it up on your own, they're modes, M-O-D-E-S, or mode, singular, and they are basically scales within a scale. Okay. So if that's something you want to check out by yourself, I'll touch on some of them, but I won't go into them. So let's start off by the first position. The fingering that I'm going to use from C to C is open, 2, open, 2, 3, open, 2, 3. And the finger I'm talking about in this whole pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I say open 2 is my 2 finger, open 2, 3, 3 and 2 and 3 finger, etc. Okay. Here we go. Open C. Oh, some people use these 2 fingers, like open 1, open 1, 2, open 1, 2. So you decide on what fingering it is you want to use. At this point, you should be able to adapt to how you want to play it, because basically this is an advanced course and you should have enough foundation where you can kind of adapt. I shouldn't be telling you how to finger every scale that we're going to do. Okay, let's do it together. First section, open C. Here we go. Open C, D, F, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C. Okay? Then you want to descend. C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C. Okay? So that's your first section. It's basically a Lydian mode, so as you play it, it sounds a little unique. The sound is a very unique sound. In this entire lesson, you want to practice it like this: ascend, ascend, ascend. So in other words, stop, ascend. Okay, and you want to do that several times. Get comfortable. Go at a speed that's comfortable for you. Then you want to descend. Okay, so you descend, stop, descend, stop, do it again, etc. Then you want to ascend, pause, descend. Ascend, pause, descend. So ascend, pause, descend. Okay, so you want to do that. After you get comfortable with that, the final outcome is you want to go ascend and descend, no pauses. But we go at a speed that's comfortable for you. Don't go that fast. I'm just showing what you need to do. Okay? So go at a speed that's comfortable for you. That goes for every skill pattern in this lesson, okay? Next position, we're going to go from a D to a D. D to a D. This is the second position. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. That's the order that we're going to do it in, okay? Here we go. D note, second fret, third string. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. Okay, so you want to ascend, then you want to descend. D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D. And you want to make sure that you do it several times, yeah? Stop, ascend again, stop, and then you want to descend. Stop, descend, etc. And then you want to ascend, pause, and then descend. Okay? After you get comfortable with that, pause. After you get comfortable with that, then you do the ascend, descend without pausing. And once again, go at the speed that's comfortable for you. Don't go fast. Next position, E, 4th fret. Very familiar. This is the E minor scale. E minor scale, okay? Here we go, together. Refresher. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. Don't forget, you want to ascend, 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 get comfortable. Then you want to descend. E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E. Okay? After you do that, then you want to ascend, pause, descend. Ascend, pause, descend. Then you want to do the final ascend and descend with no pauses. Okay? But you want to make sure you do it in the sequence where you're building up to the memory of being able to locate and play the scale and being able to do the dexterity for the fingering. Next position, we're going to move up to the G major position. G, A. You know what? I'm just going to throw this in. We're going to do F sharp to F sharp. Okay? F sharp to F sharp. So that's on the 6th fret, 3rd string. F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then reverse. Okay? And then after you do that, by the way, pause the tutorial and look at that again if you need to. And then after we do that, we're going into the next position. Let's see, the 1, 2, 3, that was 4, and this would be the 5th position, which is basically the G major scale on the 7th fret. The G, we covered this already. Should be easy for you by now. The G major scale, that's all it is. And then, you know, do the sequence: ascend, ascend, and then descend. Okay, then you do it with a pause. Pause. And then you want to do it continuously with no pauses. Okay? keep in mind on your paper it goes farther, so you want to go ahead and do some more of that fret work and scale patterns that goes farther, that's available to you. But I'm going to stop there because not everybody has enough fretboard to go farther. Once again, beware of your markers, and we're talking about the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret. In the previous tutorial I talked about how you can make markers on your ukulele if necessary. If you want to go that route, go back to the tutorial that talked about it. If not, then you're going to have to devise some way to see or notice some kind of where the markers are, so which are the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, etc. So you can best utilize the practicing of the different positions for the scale patterns within the grid. Now, I know I went kind of fast. You're going to definitely need to listen to the tutorial several times, okay? Because you're not going to grasp everything listening to it once, because we went over a lot of scale patterns and how to practice them, and it was kind of fast. What you want to do, most important, you want to go at the speed that you're comfortable with, and the speed that you are practicing these scale patterns is the speed that you're not making mistakes. If you are making just one mistake, you got to slow it down even more. You have to play without any mistakes. That is the speed that you are playing these scale patterns. Don't rush it. I'll let you know that if you start making mistakes, if you continue the mistakes, you will learn the mistakes and you will repeat the mistakes. So therefore, practice these scale patterns without any mistakes as much as possible for you to be as successful as possible and minimize repeating any mistakes in the future. Okay, in this lesson there was a lot of information. Please listen to it as many times as you need to before you go on to the next lesson where we show you how to play the grid for G major. You must know how the family of chords works with your fretboard grid, okay? Because we're going to talk about putting them together so you can really see what chords goes with the scales, etc., how to play them, how it works, how to use them, and why you're using it, okay? Now, if you don't understand that, you got two choices. You can go on ahead but not really understand what you're doing, or you can go back to the very first tutorial in the section of this series for G major. I believe there's about a series of 9 tutorials that makes up one key, okay? One key. G major is one key. E minor just is one key. Okay, you need to go back to that, re-listen to it, get your notes down, understand the theory and concepts behind what I taught in that lecture before you move on to the next tutorial, or else it's going to get really elaborate, involved, and confusing maybe to some. Okay, with that being said, you decide what it is you want to do, and once you think you're ready to move on to the next lesson, we'll show you how to play the notes in the grid of G major. We'll see you then.